Funded by Employment and Social Development Canada, longitudinal examination of newcomers serving social enterprises, or LANS, is a research study conducted by the Immigrant Education Society in partnership with the University of Michigan. This study aims to evaluate the effectiveness of work integration social enterprises in helping newcomers and racialized groups overcome socioeconomic barriers. This study defines social enterprises as organizations that use business models to serve communities and individuals for broad social change. We defined VICEs as a common subcategory of social enterprise that focuses on providing vulnerable groups, such as racialized communities, with opportunities to enter the labor market as they face systemic barriers in securing employment. The objectives of the study are: 1. To create a strong evidence base on the effectiveness of social enterprises, including VICE, in supporting social and labor market integration for racialized groups. 2. To estimate the qualitative and quantitative impacts of social enterprise and VICE interventions on participants' immediate, medium, and long-term social and labor market outcomes. 3. To strengthen partnerships between researchers and VICE practitioners. And lastly, 4. To increase the impacts of VICE organizations in serving immigrants and racialized communities with the tools provided by the proposed project.
To begin our study, we reviewed the literature on social enterprises and WISEs for racialized communities. We also searched for any studies conducted within Canada and our geographical site, Calgary, Alberta. Research on social enterprises and WISEs has shown an upward trend in the past 20 years. Studies on social enterprises for racialized communities are limited, focusing more on other marginalized groups such as women and people with disabilities. Discussions on racialized communities are more concentrated in areas like Europe and North America, where populations are diverse, rendering racial inequalities more visible. These studies highlight the positive outcomes racialized communities experience from SEs, including improved individual and community well-being, reduced feelings of exclusion and isolation, and increased access to healthcare. The following benefits can be compromised by prioritizing attractive economic goals over social ones. Current literature on WISEs has mainly involved people with disabilities, as they were the primary target population for this social enterprise model during its history in Europe and the United States. Studies investigating WISEs for racialized communities have outlined positive outcomes similar to those documented from SEs, with other effects like poverty alleviation and increased self-confidence. In the Canadian context, most studies about SEs and WISEs focus on Ontario, with some conducted in British Columbia. Only some investigations about SEs and WISEs are situated in Alberta, but unrelated to racialized communities. This gap serves as the foundation for our study.
This study utilized a multi-pronged approach of a web-based environmental scan to identify and classify work integration social enterprises or WISEs that serve racialized communities within Alberta, Canada. We employed a twofold approach: database searches and structured internet scan. Our initial search in SE databases provided us with two key resources: the Government of Canada's SA-focused webpage and the Alberta Social Economy Ecosystem Development or ABCD website. Our second step, we used a systematic internet scan. This approach enabled us to navigate and systematically examine the vast scope of data on the internet. We randomly selected 15 locations in Alberta using specific keywords in English and in French, using Google in incognito mode with specified exclusion and inclusion criteria. Each enterprise was then evaluated based on 11 distinct characteristics ranging from basic information like name and mission statement to more specific metrics related to impact and target population.
The two databases offered lists of SE organizations and resources, from which we identified 55 unique social enterprises in Alberta. Of those 55, 24 WISEs and 9 WISEs within 7 organizations served racialized communities.
Our structured internet search yielded a total of 116 social enterprises. From these, only 25 were WISEs, and a mere 5 of those specifically served racialized groups within 3 organizations.
Overall, we scanned 171 SEs in total and identified 49 WISEs. Of the 49 WISEs, only 14 WISEs served racialized communities. This highlights the limited ecosystem for racialized communities within the Alberta SE landscape.